Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nexters Inc. conference call. On the call today, we have Andrey Fadeev, our Chief Executive Officer, Alexander Karavaev, our Chief Financial Officer, and Anton Reinhold, our Chief Operating Officer. A press release containing information on the acquisitions, as well as the supplementary slides, were issued earlier today and are available on our website. These discussions will contain forward-looking statements. Actual results may differ materially from the results predicted or implied by such statements, and forward-looking statements made today speak only to our expectations as of today. We undertake no obligation to publicly update or revise these statements. For a discussion of some of the risk factors that could cause actual results to differ, please see the risk factors section in our registration statement on Form 1 filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Please note that today we will discuss questions in regards to the acquisitions announced today. Nexters Inc. fourth quarter and full year results, as well as recent trends, will not be discussed and will be released in the second part of March 2022. Now I'll turn the call over to Andrey to make a quick opening remarks. Andrey, please go ahead.
Thank you, Roman, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's call. Apart from great results and new game launches demonstrated previously, we are very proud to announce our first large bucket of acquisitions, altogether being the largest acquisition in the history of Nexters and one of the largest acquisitions in the Russian game development industry. We are glad that the teams of Cubic Games, Royal Ark, and RJ Games will continue to develop and grow as parts of our group. I am confident that the accumulated expertise and advanced knowledge of the market will allow us to strengthen our position in the mid-core segment of the market and diversify our portfolio by creating new blockbuster games for players all over the globe. And as a result, bring value creation for all parties. On page 3, you can see the key transaction highlights. Nexters entered agreements to acquire the 3 gaming companies, investing upfront around $100 million in total, which combined, we believe, is the largest gaming acquisition deal in the region. We will leave the brand and creative independence of the studios intact, which in total will bring more than 400 talented game creators led by veteran game dev founders who employ 10 to 15 years of experience in gaming. By these acquisitions, Nexters will expand its total addressable market by over $5 billion and enter strong and sustainable genres such as first-person shooter, puzzle RPG, survival RPG, and shelter management genres. All the games developed by our new partners are mid-core games, and mid-core is one of the key areas of Nexters' expertise. Mid-core games are quite deep and engaging, but still rather easy to learn and play. Thanks to that, this segment is responsible for almost 50% of time and 60% of money spent across all mobile genres. Apart from financing, Nexters will use its game development and user acquisition playbook in order to help the studios to scale their games on the global markets rapidly. Together with our new partners, we will leverage all strengths to come up to the highest possible synergistic effect. As a result, we expect the combined bookings of these 3 studios to grow more than 3 times over 3 years and total $130 million in 2024. So now Anton will speak in more detail about each of these great game creators and their products. And in the end, we will discuss our further actions.
Anton. Thank you, Andrey. On page 4, you can see a description of Cubic Games and its well-known game Pixel Gun 3D. Pixel Gun 3D is a multiplayer first-person shooter with a blocky graphics style. Shooters is the 6th largest genre in terms of downloads and bookings, but the leader in players' time spent with an 18% market share. In 2021, the shooter market had more than $3 billion in bookings. The game was published in 2013, and its lifetime has accumulated close to 170 million downloads. And right now, by accumulated downloads, it's the top 2nd first-person shooter game globally and top 2 game in attractive blocky setting. The game is highly skewed towards the US and other parts of the developed markets, with around 80% of bookings
coming from those countries. Due to strong brand and network effect, the inflow of new players was driven by organic downloads, which accounted for 80% of the total. In 2021, on average, 5.5 million players were enjoying Pixel Gun 3D every month, which allowed Cubic Games to generate around 26 million of bookings. Turning to page 5 to discuss RJ Games and its title Puzzle Breakers. RJ Games, founded in 2013, is a veteran game development studio which has vast experience in developing social games in various genres, from casual adventure to strategy games. Recently, the team switched to mobile. Currently, the whole team of 150 plus developers are working on the new mobile game Puzzle Breakers, which finds itself in the intersection of RPG and Match 3, the genre called Puzzle RPG. It brings great scale from Match 3 and deep monetization from RPG. Puzzle RPG is an emerging genre with market size of 2.3 billion as of 2021. Puzzle Breakers features a truly high-class art production and engaging gameplay, which makes it competitive with the current leaders of the genre. The game was soft launched on Android in a limited number of geographies in 2020 and exhibits strong user retention and monetization depth metrics. The preliminary results of the soft launch show metrics in line with Hero Wars, and we see the potential areas of quick wins, as the game has a lot in common with our flagship title. Right now, the title has content for over 3 years of gameplay, which is a huge asset for mid-core games and crucial for monetization of users eager to pay and proceed faster in the game. The game is prepared for a world release in Q2 2022. We believe that Nexter's experience in RPG and casual games will allow us to start scaling the game massively already this year. Page 6, the last but not the least, Royal Ark and its 2 mid-core RPG titles, Dawn of Zombies and Shelter Wars. Royal Ark as a company was founded in 2018 by 2 game development veterans who employ more than 15 years of experience in game development. The studio publishes 2 games, survival RPG in zombie setting, Dawn of Zombies, and the shelter management game in a post-apoc setting, Shelter War. Zombie and post-apocalyptic settings are among the most successful in the entertainment industry globally. And for example, zombie setting in 2021 was outpacing the industry in terms of growth rates, plus 40% bookings growth in 2021 among top grossing games. Games in these settings usually enjoy a lot of interest from the player side, which translates into downloads and lower cost per player. Both games are already launched and have great production and art and show good results despite being relatively new and on the back of low marketing investments. Both games have cumulative downloads of 16 million and for 2021 have generated around $9 million of bookings, growing from almost 0 point in 2019. Turning to the further actions, please take a look at page 7, where we show what are our integration and support plans for the studio's development. As previously mentioned, the deal is just the beginning of long and tight interaction between the companies. We have set an integration department which will be responsible for building the right bridges between all departments of the respective companies. This team will help the studios to adjust their strategy of product and marketing development by sharing Nexter's knowledge in all important areas of the game development process. One of the most important areas of joint work will be establishment of marketing teams where it is necessary with help of team integration, followed by the provided financing to boost the UA investment. We believe using this playbook, we will transform Nexter's into a game development powerhouse and allow the newly acquired studios to reach a target of $130 million in 2024, which is more than triple top-line growth in 3 years. To conclude, I would like to highlight one more time that we are incredibly excited about the opportunity to add such strong, recognized, highly complementary assets to our portfolio, with the scale, power, and vision to address the significant market opportunity in our growing industry. These acquisitions will accelerate Nexter's expansive strategy and open the door for more exciting deals to come. Now, I would like to open the floor for the Q&A.
Thank you, sir. As a reminder, if you do have any questions or comments, please press star followed by one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press the pound or the hash key. Once again, it's star followed by one if you have any questions or comments at this time. We have a first question coming from the line of Dmitry Blasov from Wood & Co. Please ask your question.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to ask a question, and congratulations on the acquisition. The first question will be about the margins of those companies. Just wondering how the margin profile is different to Nexus, and how long do you think it's going to take for those companies to catch up? Thank you. That's the first question, and I will ask the follow-up question.
Thanks a lot. It's Alexander Karavaev, CFO of the company. Thanks for the question. Look, for Pixel Gun, which is a well-established title, so the margin is quite solid. We're not disclosing that for now because we plan to have a quite substantial reorganization of the back office functions, basically to get the economy of scale. But generally speaking, we may really count on the margins to be comparable to the margins of Nexus going forward. And also, what's really important is that we do not really plan any immediate results to come in place. 2022 would be the year when we basically put all the processes and teams in place in that company for us to be able to achieve quite substantial growth and margin expansion in 2023. And it's also, last but not the least, we really believe that this game has a lot of potential, and we might really be in a position to invest a lot in marketing and new consumers. So the margins as such are not really the short-term target; it's more the longer term. So as for the two other titles, they are startups, especially Rocket Jump. Again, theoretically, based on the modeling that we have done when we were making due diligence, the margins we may achieve there with the time being would be more or less same as for the our core title, Hero Wars, and for the whole company. But it is something that it's really in an investment phase, so we would really feel the margin expansion starting from 2024 and beyond. So I hope this helps.
Yes, thank you very much. That's useful. The other question is for the Qubit game. You're paying $70 million for that, and with the expected bookings of 26 million, I think the EV to bookings multiple is circa 2.7. Which seems higher than the industry average and higher than the Nexus multiple itself. Just wondering what's the reason behind that? What's so special about this company? Or do you pay that much because you expect the bookings to skyrocket in the future? Thank you.
Yes, thanks again. Exactly. That's exactly as I said. So the company has been not in a good shape in a way for the past couple of years. But we really believe when we made the due diligence, it's a lot of things that can be quite substantially improved. And based on really conservative analysis, we really believe we can achieve quite substantial growth in bookings in the first place, and then the expansion of margins. It's really a quite substantial and considerable plan of actions starting from the team that we want to beef up and changing the gameplay and many things inside the game, and basically applying the knowledge that we have collected for Hero Wars and also the knowledge of Playerix that we're also using. Based on all of that, we really believe it will be quite substantial value accretion starting from 23 and beyond. So that's based on our models and quite substantial due diligence that we have done upon this game.
Okay, thank you. I will have some follow-up questions later. I'll let other participants to ask questions.
We have the next questions coming from the line of Ivan Kim from Excelus Capital. Please ask your question.
Yes, hi. I just wanted to ask about Pixel Gun's life cycle. Can you share with us maybe some distribution of their bookings over the past, let's say, 5 years? Which year was the peak? And what makes you confident that you'll be able to boost the bookings of this game, which has been around for a while? So that's, in essence, the question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes. So the company, the peak. So we're not disclosing the historical data because it's not really audited. So though we have checked that quite extensively in the course of the due diligence, but so the peak of the bookings was basically a couple of years ago, and then it was slowly declining. And again, it's as I said, we have identified really few things in the game that we believe we can substantially improve. So first of all, so I think we made it clear in the press release, this game is very special in a way that was driven primarily by organic traffic. So the company has not actually acquired the users as a matter of policy. So they made certain experiments, but they did not went through. And we believe we can really add a lot in terms of of this expertise. And also, it's our expertise about the gameplay because it's many things that we realized in the game that we have came across early on when we launched Hero Wars that needs to be fixed before the monetization curve really flies. So that's the whole kind of background. So it's really many things like so the user acquisition team, the analytics, and many kind of functions in the company that were not up to the point, up to the standard, so to say. So just to put it kind of in simple terms, we really believe that from a gameplay, it's a gem. It's really a very good gameplay, but it has not been really surrounded by a proper infrastructure in terms of the monetization, user acquisition. That we believe we are one of the best companies in the world to do this. And by combining those two expertise, we really believe that it's going to be quite substantial room to grow for this specific title. As for the life cycle management, look, I think we have covered that many times in our calls. It's the industry has moved a lot towards the titles that really last long, and it's a widely available statistic that approximately half of total bookings worldwide are produced by titles that are kind of 5 years plus or even 10 years plus, and we are seeing increasing number of those franchises that are really last longing very last. And again, based on our analysis, based on the due diligence, we really believe that Pixel Gun as a title can be something that can last really long. So it's so many untapped opportunities within the game that we believe we're going to kind of uncover for the public. That we believe it has many years ahead.
Right. Thank you very much.
I would just add, this is Anton Reinhold, the Chief Operating Officer, to what Alexander was saying. So just if we go into deeper detail, so the game is massive in terms of players, but still it is 70 million downloads, which is not that many for a first-person shooter on mobile. So there is still a lot of room to grow, and there are a lot of new regions to conquer. So there is a lot of audience waiting for the game. there is the expertise on monetization that we are going to bring, and of course the way that the way the team brings new players to the game has not been explored by the team until today. So basically, the team was kind of enjoying the inflow of organic players without making just a few moves towards the paid UA campaigns. Yet we think this is one of our core expertise, and we are going to execute this here on Pixel Gun, and we believe that this game is far from its peak, and we want to make new records for this game in terms of MAUs and of course in terms of bookings.
Thank you, Anton.
We have the next questions coming from the line of Chirag Vadia from Bank of America. Please ask your question.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Could you just share some of the assumptions or key milestones in the timeline behind that $130 million in combined bookings you expect to achieve in 2024?
Hi, Chirag. So thanks for the question. You mean how it all decomposes to all the kind of three companies that we acquired? No, I mean, look, we're not really disclosing, so we believe kind of that it's first of all it's fairly conservative estimate. So we just run a number of different scenarios, and it's basically towards the lower end. So we believe we can make more than that, but we just really want to be conservative. In terms of the assumptions, they're generally around. First of all, the processes that we really need to put in place in all the companies. It's especially around the user acquisition and around the processes that we successfully employ in our core title, Hero Wars. So we really want that core function that manage the user acquisition. All those companies would be up to the standards we have in Hero Wars, and we believe we are kind of really positioned well to do this. And then obviously it's all about the investment. So we really kind of plan a few tens of millions of dollars into the acquisition of users across all the titles, starting from the Pixel Gun, which is kind of the most mature, but also for Dawn of Zombies, Shelter Wars, and Puzzle Breaker. And again, other than that, we basically used more or less the expertise that we have in house in terms of the monetization curves. I mean, how it all works, and again, for all three games, we do have a quite substantial data. I mean, Pixel Gun, it's a well-established title. Two titles at Royal Ark, they basically already have been like launched 1 or 2 years ago, and we have collected quite a lot of data. So we analyzed it quite substantially over the course of due diligence. We simply just took a reasonable projections on how the monetization curve would evolve, and for Puzzle Breaker as well. So though the game is not widely launched, but it has been in soft launch for a while. And there is a quite substantial amount of statistics about the monetization curve, and it's probably worth mentioning that Puzzle Breaker is just outstanding in terms of the monetization curve. It's something that even at the very kind of initial stage of soft launch, producing the results much better or just slightly better to Hero Wars a couple of years ago. But it's kind of a startup. So this game has really the potential to be as big as Hero Wars. It obviously requires a lot of things kind of to be put in place, starting from the marketing team, proper user acquisition, the work on the content. But it's something that we believe can be huge. Again, coming back to what I started with, we really want to be conservative. with that. That's why we're announcing this number. But so these are more or less the assumptions. So they generally speaking has been built on a fairly kind of decent known monetization curves and ROAS that we have came across in the industry generally and in those titles that we have operated in the past.
Thanks. And is there anything in particular you would highlight about the way the marketing differs from Hero Wars and the titles you've just acquired that you could improve?
Actually, thank you for the question. It's pretty deep. I would say that there are classic UA marketing, classic performance marketing for the Royal Ark and the RJ Games puzzle breakers. That depends on long revenue curve, as those games are RPGs, and basically they have pretty much the same model of monetizing, and depend on the players turning to payers and then sticking in the game for a long time. With Pixel Gun, it is a bit different, as the shooting games tend to have different kind of monetization and do not depend on in-depth upgrading heroes or weapons in the game based on money, as this actually puts disbalance into the game between the players, and yet the players still keep playing the game for a long time, but pay differently. So we think of different kinds of marketing and different kinds of way to promote this game, which first would depend on adding new monetization models, such as adding ads into the game, and this would help probably to look at the game differently, not like an RPG, but something closer to a casual or super broad game, which it is actually. And so basically would inquire different kinds of UA strategies when we would be looking for very broad targeting, looking for lowering the CPI and not getting the best payers, for example. Also, that would go for branded marketing campaigns and getting more visibility with different kinds of streamers and YouTube bloggers who would promote the game, and of course get to promote different new updates to the game. And of course, we, like last but not least, we depend on the huge install base that we already have for Pixel Gun. So this is a huge community. It is a huge number of players and payers whom we want to offer new kinds of way to enjoy the game and pay for it. So basically, we would get new players into the game, of course, but our strategy relies a lot also on getting the existing payers and players back into the game.
Great, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have any question or comment, please press star followed by 1 on your telephone. You have the next questions coming from the line of Dmitry Vasov from Wood & Co. Please ask a question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just a quick follow-up from me. Just curious, I mean, you have 3 new titles which you recently launched. Then you acquired the 3 new companies. Just wondering how, isn't it a bit too much for 1 or 2 years to come? How confident are you that you will be successful in all of those new initiatives? Just seems a little much. You've been basically running just one game, and then all of a sudden you have a lot more in your portfolio? Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is a great question, and of course we pay so much attention to still have focus on our flagship product, Hero Wars, which we will believe and make everything possible to keep it growing, and we believe that there is a lot of room to grow for this product. Still, we want to have enough manpower to scale our new casual titles, and add those three things to our portfolio. But as said, we value the independence of creative decisions a lot. And in 2 companies out of 3, in Royal Ark and in RJ Games, we have veterans of game development who will continue to lead their companies, and who are more than motivated to get to the top of the grossing charts. So as for the Pixel Gun game, we have, and actually for managing those integrations, we have set together a very experienced integration team, whose first priority is to give enough of resources and to set up the management in Pixel Gun, yet not defocus the main Nexters team, which is super laser focused on bringing the organic growth. So we've thought about that, and we keep those things apart. Yet we still say that we want to transfer expertise, and we have well set tools for that. So we have been partners with Playrix for quite a few years, and we have created ways of transferring the information and the expertise from one team to another. This happens horizontally between the corresponding teams. For example, the UA team could talk to the corresponding UA team in Playrix, and we want to use quite the same model with the new studios who have leading founders in those games. Leading founders in those companies. So basically, we will use the same kind of thing that actually helped us grow and helped, I believe, Playrix grow in some points as well. And we'll transfer this this working, actually, trusted model to our new portfolio studios.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody, for joining the call, and let's keep in touch. Bye-bye.